Oh god, why am I not appearing again? Ah, there we go. Hello. Ah, hello, it is I, Faye. Welcome back to our Sundays. Hope, er- hope everyone here today is having a good time. If you're around lurking or something, I don't know. I'm gonna ignore real quick the very obnoxious sounds coming from outside my room. But yeah, well, welcome back to another Sunday of Faye talking about TTRPGs because they're a fucking nerd. Who would have guessed? Who is surprised here? Really now? So I'm gonna ask you to give me 1 second. Oh, Hashback, how you doing? Welcome. Trying to see if this. Well, that's not supposed to look like that. What the fuck? Give me a second. Uh, hmm. That's weird. Why is my thing not working properly? Uh, no, not that. What? Oh, I remember now what was wrong. Give me a second. Shoop, shoop, a shoop, and a shoop. There we go. Alright, now give me a second. I'm gonna put in the music. And we can begin. Why is it still put? Hmm. It's for some reason the media share. It's showing the videos from last time. I don't know why. But you know what? I'll take that in stride. Sure, let's just use the recommendations from last time. Sounds like a plan. Feel like this ever since I took my small breaks, this got like OBS and everything else has started breaking down around me. Let's see. No, seriously, how do I? Oh, right. All right. So now for some reason my ugh. So let me hide the video. Hmm. This is not how it should be fucking working. Ah. Music is 20-30% too loud. Give me a fucking. Why are you not letting me? Ugh. There we go. But yeah, I'm gonna stop media share for a moment because I think this goddamn piece of shit is not working how it should. Yes, the backup playlist is there, so why are you not fucking. There we go. Why are you so loud? Give me a second. There we go. So I needed to reload it so the fucking thing would. Ay, ay. This media share thing is so scuffed sometimes. This doesn't have that I had to do everything in a hurry because fucking Discord wouldn't let me push back the fucking hour of the thing. You miss nothing. You miss me complaining about stuff, Neo. Hello, how you doing? Ah, jeez. What a start to the stream. But oh well. You are doing? What are you? What are you doing? Uh, I mean, it's been a fine day. I've been working on my IRL Pathfinder's game that I've been doing on the TTRPG Association that I'm in right now. Eh, sorry. And we've been working on characters, and this party is a goddamn fucking chaotic mess. I legitimately do not know what to expect. Wee. Okay. Like legit, this party is is filled of with dumb motherfuckers. Each of them dumb in their own way. Like we have the snake person drug dealer who is like basically they basically play the same character Spec played in the in the King of the Castle thing within Nami's birthday, pretty much. Then we have the pirate cat that is also gonna join in doing bullshit all over the place. And then we have the champion centaur, who is pretty much just a lawyer, working alongside these two guys. Like the guy is trained in legalese. He's a super stickler for like goodness and like freedom and shit. I mean, well, there's these two bozos who'd probably sell their mother at a dime if they could. So yeah, not the best combo. Also, why is the music? Here I will switch it into what Neo plays. They walk into a tavern and then they meet a field medic who is the fourth member of the team. Just like we have two like goody two shoes like helpful characters, and then we have the two creatures. So yeah, the party is definitely gonna be interesting. All right. But yeah, welcome to the Fate TTRPG talk session of today, where aside from the song request not working for Neo for some reason on the second song, I am just here to talk today about something more relaxed, something a bit more subdued, since it's been a while since we've done one of these, and I thought it would be a bit a bit messy to start going back into yeah, let me review this manual in deep and thick detail real quick, which I will probably do with Legend of the Five Rings or something like that. But shh, don't worry about that. Or maybe with a dungeon game. I do like a dungeon game. There we go. Now it was added. Oh god, this is being any one theme. It's the sunshine. But yeah, I thought for something more relaxed today, we could just talk a bit about what I like in the different RPGs I've played and the patterns that I've noticed in my tastes and stuff like that. I think like that's a pretty good how do I say this? A pretty good way to do things today. Just, for something more relaxed, something where I just get to do a little bit and be a goofy bitch while you guys are goofier bitches. So, any game you guys would want me to talk about first in terms of what I like about it? Of all the ones I've gushed to you guys about for the past few months, ever since you had the misfortune of meeting my obsession. How about the magical girl one? Girl by Moonlight? Sure. Oh, oh. I guess this will technically be also be partially a Forts in the Dark review, since all of those games share very similar game. What's the a very similar spirit on how to do their mechanics and such. I mean, they are based on a specific. They are basically all based on the mechanics of Blades in the Dark, so of course. But you know what I mean. Oh, holy shit! That's a theme. Let's go. Enjoy your gachaing spec. Maybe I'll end up joining the gacha on the side of on the side that no one else will be joining, which is Infinity Nikki. Since it's made by a good company that is a MiHoYo, and it actually looks like it's cute and based, but the good kind of based, not the cringe kind of based. You know what I mean? I'm a, I'm a fucking like furry avatar talking to you with pastel colors and shit. I think you know what I mean by based. I think everyone knows what I mean here. But Infinity Nikki is pretty damn good. I mean, I think the outcry on the internet about the game would point towards that, yeah. And when you have a game where you can just make your own cute little character, yeah, no wonder people are happy with that. Hey, you guys are real rules. Genshin is the one with a melanin problem. and that problem will be forever staying in MiHoYo's history, and that will never be removed, no matter how many years passes and how much the company changes, because this is the power of the internet. Ooba dooba dooba doo. But yeah, let's go talk about Girl by Moonlight for a bit. Sure. To be fair, haven't played around with that game as much, so I don't have quite as much of a grasp of the mechanics and such. So I have read it at least once through, and I do have a few things I liked about how it like those things. I like CCC and Honkai Star Rail. If I want games experience, I'll do Wuthering Way. It's without the problem. What that? What Wuthering Waves? Dude, I thought you played it more than that. How would I play it more than that? I literally have never had a session of it. Like, you guys are literally the only people I can play TTRPGs with that are like all indie and weird. Or just weird, but not indie. I literally... Huh? When would they have had a session? Another gacha open world but actual good combat and doesn't have the same issues as Genshin, it's just newer. Huh. Why are all those games always gachas? Why can't you just unlock the characters by doing a side quest or something in these kind of games? Seriously. You guys have to TTRPGs and noise without me all the time. Yeah, and you know all of the ones that we've had. Like, I'm constantly talking about what games we are playing. If I had played Girl by Moonlight, you would have heard about it. Just like how you heard about Fist and Call of Cthulhu and Pathfinder because you're part of that one. And that's really all the games we've had for now. But yeah, as I was saying, Girl by Moonlight. The one thing that the main thing that will always make me like a TTRPG is when the mechanics actually play in the favor of the setting or fantasy that the game is trying to create. So you know, what the fuck? Oh, this theme. I see. I didn't play those two at some point. Well, then pay attention to when I talk about playing those games. I guess I am thinking of maybe doing during this winter vacation a small Call of Cthulhu one shot thingy. So you could join that if you want. I'd be down for it. That's great. Then look forward to that because I have some thoughts. Thought. Maybe I'll make a funny like Christmas special or New Year special like version of a Call of Cthulhu campaign. Just like it was the nightmare before Christmas, but not the type of nightmare everyone hoped. But yeah, Girl by Moonlight. So, great thing about it is its format of being divided into four different types of storylines. Like the game is basically set up with the presumption that you will either be playing in the I don't remember the names right now, but you basically have like the Sailor Moon kind of magical girl story. You have the Madoka Magica uh kind of the magical girl story, which I don't know how to fucking how do I mods rip his balls off. Thanks. What kind of symbol could I use for Madoka Magic? I guess I could try to make the grief seed. Give me a second. Oops. Oh no, I made one side so perfect. Damn it. Now we'll never be able to replicate that. Oh, there we go. I really need to stop doing like, let's see. Eh, eh. Cthulhu says Christmas is a legit RPG game. God. And trying to draw a grief seed from Madoka Magica, but it's taking me some time. Give me so. But yeah, you have something more akin to Madoka Magica, where it's like, oh, the magical girls are actually part of the problem, blah 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 blah. It's all fucky wacky, and everyone's probably going to die eventually because there's no actual hope other than trying to keep the theme pushed away. Then you just have Gunbuster. Like there's legitimately just a mode that's just Gunbuster, where you're just like a bunch of magical girls piloting death robots, and you're playing like Gunbuster or Evangelion or something. Oops. I'm just real quick, drawing like a robot. Give me just a second. There. I will leave it like that. I'm just gonna draw a whole ass robot. And then you just have Persona 5. Like, legit. Just go into the mind of people and change their hearts from within. Like, it's not like the inspiration doesn't say it's Persona, but it's pretty much feels like fucking Persona. So I'll just put like I can't remember how Joker's mask looks right now, but that's real quick like that's not how I want plan to have it shaped. There we go. His mask is like Batarang shaped by smoother, I think. Eh. For the neutral special, sure. Bang. There you go, the most basic gun shape possible. I hope you're happy. But yeah, I am wonderful. But yeah, what I like is the fact that it divides it's like the actual way the game plays and how like the mission structure progresses is actually dependent on how each on which of the styles of game you choose. Like, for example, this one has like a progress to defeating the evil. Oh, it's like, oh, we must defeat the evil. While this one instead has While this one instead has a measurement of how corrupted your characters are and how close they are to basically losing themselves and shit like that. I just do, and then I'm gonna no, this is the eraser. No, this is the cube. It's a hard guy from Adventure Time. God, fuck you. Be gone. But yeah, you have like the advance in corruption in these ones. With these ones, you have like the progress of the wars against the big scary aliens. Which how do I draw that? I don't know. I'll draw like a circle with tentacles, and then a bunch of little spaceships. Oops. Eh, eh, eh. Eh, 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 eh. So you have like the progress of the war against the aliens, and with these guys, it's like the progress on, well, on personaing the enemies, basically. Like how notorious the characters are, how close they are on the tier list of people they are hunting, which is represented usually with a network of people. They are basically going from one to the other. So, like from here to here, and from this guy they go to this guy and to this guy, and then from this guy they go to this guy, or from this guy they go to this other guy, and then these two together combined send them towards the bigger guy. And Like the progress throughout these games is always dependent on how, like, on which kind of game you're playing and as such also the way your magical girls progress. Like these magical girls gain powers by just defeating evil and improving their artifact that gives them power, while these ones gain power from the more they're corrupted, but in exchange that also progresses whatever evil is happening in the world. These ones meanwhile have to upgrade their like battleships, their battle like robots and shit. And these guys meanwhile get like better at get more strength from like cognition and get more renowned in the network of people they are pursuing and stuff. And it's really neat. I like that. I also like the stress and fall down system that this game has, where you have like a stress meter. How do I depict that? Not sure. You have like a. I'm gonna be like I'm happy. Eh. But yeah, it goes like you have your stress accumulation, and when you reach maximum stress, you have the fall down, whereas your character basically goes into an absolute fucking mental breakdown. Oops, that's not how I wanted to draw that. There we go, and then, oops. They have an absolute like mental breakdown thing. Actually, let's see if I can. I probably can't, but there you go. They're having the the negative effect from Darkest Dungeon. And when that happens, you can basically use your stress to fuel yourself, and your character basically goes into a full like personality breakdown mode. But if you ever run out of stress, you can, well, you have two paths. Either at some point your friends help you reconcile yourself with yourself, and you come back stronger than ever. So yeah, you can either come back stronger than ever, or if you can spend all your stress in a blaze of glory and then lose your character forever. Rip. Like legit, you can just burn your character in a blaze of glory, losing all your stress, and that's either completely either completely losing your power as a magical girl, or just dying. You're just dead forever. It's kind of really fucking cool. I really like that way because it fits very well with how how magical girl stories usually go. Now, if only the game, the playing mechanics themselves were a bit more like concentrated and centered, then this game would be a 10 out of 10. But as it stands, it's like an 8 out of 10 because like combat is very wishy-washy. It's a lot more narrative focused, so it's more like, oh, you kapow this guy, or you blah 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 blah. Or he hits you and you gain this amount of stress and blah blah blah, blah. Like enemies don't quite have a health bar or anything like that. You just kind of do a maneuver, and if you succeed in that maneuver, then you'll get closer to defeating them, or be able to defeat them depending on what you're trying to do and how important this enemy is. I don't know, it's a bit wishy-washy in that regard. But oh well. It probably comes from the fact that, yeah, no, the game is super theater of the mind. But it probably comes more from the fact that Blades in the Dark, the game it's based on, is a lot more is a lot less centered on the conflict itself and more centered in the in the like narrative of a heist, which works a lot very well for that game because for a heist you don't really need combat all that much. And I guess in Girl by Moonlight, it's also technically more about the narrative of the characters maturing and facing against these problems and growing from that themselves. But at the same time, it also sort of feels like the more action-based elements of the game could have been helped with could have been helped by some more solid mechanics. Though at the same time, magical girl shows also tend to be pretty wishy-washy on how powers affect or not don't affect certain creatures. So I guess at the end of the day, it is technically still very fitting. Oh yeah, no, Blaze in the Dark is basically the game of gambling. You're constantly gambling with chance to see to see how much risk you can stick together before the whole thing collapses, basically. Ah, but yeah, that's everything for Curve by Moonlight. What game would you guys want me to talk about next? Da, 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 da. Yeah, I do want to play Girl by Moonlight with people at some point, but we don't have. Whoops. Sorry, my microphone disconnected for a moment. Again, the combat isn't the focus of the game, so it's fine. I just wish it was a bit more or more focused. You want me to talk about Mermaid of the Deep? Okay. Well, one thing I really like about Mermaids of the Deep is how its setting is such a core part of how the game plays and how the game is meant to feel. Because like stuff like Call of Cthulhu or what I just mentioned, Girl by Moonlight doesn't have like a set setting. Like Girl by Moonlight, sure, it has the four types of storytelling, but it still doesn't give you a specific setting of like themes outside of the general like image of it. While Memories of the Deep has a very grounded setting, and it very much like that setting. Whoops. That circles, please. Circles, please. Why is my wrist not working today? There we go. That's good enough. The setting of Mermaids of the Deep is so cool. I love it. Like the transhumanism in Mermaids of the Deep is so important to the setting itself, and it's so well integrated. While it's also partly an excuse for the aesthetic choices of the thing. But the thing is, the aesthetic choices are totally up my alley, so it's fine. It's like it's very obvious what the creators of the game wanted out of the game, and I'm completely up to it, so I don't fucking care. This is like a whole world where Transapocalypse for real. Like a whole world where where the survival of humanity has been pushed to such a stretch that uh, that technology has advanced crazy fast in order to meet the new demands of mankind. And then once said demands were and to fit said demands, the humanity was basically evolved into becoming cyborgs, only for then the design of those cyborgs to become pretty, like pretty marine people, pretty marine people in in mermaid bodies, because it's like, we need people who are good at going underwater, so let's make aquatic bodies. Okay, what's aquatic? Well, there's mermaids. Eh, eh, eh. All right, and then a neck. Oops. But yeah, the idea of a world where people are like, we need we wanted to draw fish women and they were right. Yeah, it's kind of like Warframe. It's the same concept of things being able to transport essence between different bodies and such. But yeah, the idea is like yes, people should just reject their bodies because they're not that useful in this kind of world, and instead live in perfectly accustomed robot cyborg bodies that constantly keep their bodies at peak performance, so that we can use the right amount of resources for everything and such, without having to worry much about things. And also, we should make fish versions for all the underwater activities we're gonna need, because words, because of the fact that most of the world has been submerged underwater and shit. And then it's like, oh damn! Now that everyone is in a robotic choice of body of their choice, then there's not really much meaning for all the discrimination that has existed in the world up until now, for bullshit reasons. And it's like, oh shit! Now everyone wants to be in a pretty mermaid body, because women are now very very revered after the important role they've had in the establishment of humanity. Oh shit! Now everyone is a trans woman. The pipeline truly is masterful. Also, I was trying to draw an arm, but I think I'm just gonna skip on that. I'll just leave it like that. But yeah, the concept of just a band of just all these super cool and pretty looking like cyborg designs just diving deep into the depths of the ocean and facing the terrors that lay beneath, while trying to scavenge for like the remains of humanity, because so now that society is confined to these few pieces of land, and your choice is basically to be part of the chain of work that keeps humanity living, or try to excel outside of that in order to actually become someone important. Then yeah, you suddenly have to make you have the main characters in that world be a bunch of super cool people just going super dangerous work, just to be able to stand above the rest of the people in the setting. And it's super cool because the depths of the ocean are fucking terrifying, and add to that the post-apocalypse that the world is in, and all the other cyber bodies and shit, and it's just so cool. So yeah, you have these like mermaid or other fish design divers just diving into the depths of the ocean, so they can find like all destroyed cities and shit on under the sea, or militaristic bases with sick technology and robots and stuff. Here, let me just oops, I don't know why that's not what I wanted to draw. Do, 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 do. But yeah, like you search through the depths of like broken cities and stuff like that, searching for searching for the remains of lost humanity and stuff, so you can make a good buck, or maybe doing some other jobs underwater, like transporting cargo or stuff like that. Then you get that cash money. Oops. And then you use that cash money to improve to improve your standing on the world and rinse repeat. And it's super cool because at the same time you can start uncovering like the deep dark secrets of what happened to planet Earth and stuff like that, and get new cooler bodies and do like and also do stuff in the surface with your other cyborg body land body, and it's so cool. I love how the setting is such a deep core part of how the gameplay loop works and the general vibe of everything in the game. It's so fucking cool, especially with how like so many of the like so much of the feel of how a character is played is so detached from the usual risks and dangers of being a human, because it's like sorry, because it's like, oh, you died, well, that's okay, you are connected universally to the world internet, so you can just so like if you bite the dust, you can just transport yourself into another one of your cool robot bodies. So it can be like, oh, you died and you are now. Oops, man, I was doing such a good shape. Why must I do stupid shit? Give me a second. Rib cage, waist, rib cage, waist, hip, hip. Fucking biggest hourglass I've ever made. Jeez, calm down, me. You can draw better than that. Ah. Any TTRPG is held back by its setting. Honestly, El Gold Brick God. As any TTRPG that's held back by its setting. Give me a second to think about that. Because there are some TTRPGs that, honestly, okay, you wanna know my honest to goodness opinion? I think Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder are both held back by their settings. Because the fact that they are tied to specific settings limits both what they are capable of doing and also how they can flavor the stuff that they do. If you know what I mean. Like, yeah, sure, like you can get some concept for cultures and stuff like that for certain races and such, but at the same time it also makes it so a lot of the things you can do in those games just kind of either feel stuck in certain sorry, in certain like paths, like for example in Pathfinder in like the dependence on making specifically gods for stuff like clerics and such, because them worshiping a specific god is important, or stuff or other stuff like that. Because I would say with Pathfinder it isn't as much because they have a strong as hell setting that is constantly on the change. But the main problem with Dungeons and Dragons is that they are stagnated in their setting. They made a super broad and generic like fantasy setting like the Forgotten Realms, but then at the same time they don't do anything with it. Like the only time the setting ever changes is when there is a new edition made. Otherwise, the setting is just stays stationary in what it is, and there isn't like a progressive story with the setting or explanation of how certain elements of the setting connect with the mechanics. Like, oh yeah, like gotta worship this god or something, and it's like, okay, but what happens if something happens to the god or stuff like that? Well, Pathfinder, at the very least, it likes to play with the setting. Like with every expansion to the content of the game, there's an update in the setting. Like, oh, this god suddenly died, or this one event happened, and now all these things are changed. So at least if you play with the Pathfinder setting, you can have a lot of fun playing around with the changes that the setting is constantly having as the adventure paths happen. Meanwhile, with D&D, the setting is just a background for everything. Like, it's just there as a still painting of the world basically, but it doesn't really do much. Like, the adventure paths don't influence each other. You don't really have like, yeah, and D&D has a bunch of different settings that are official. Like, you have the generic fantasy setting in Forgotten Realms. You have the steampunk setting in Eberron. You have the sci-fi fantasy setting in Space Jammer. And the problem is that also, because they try to, spread, instead of making just one. Oops. Give me a second. My cables are getting tangled up. There we go. Instead of making like one setting that holds everything and it like evolves or just adapts to having you know like it's used to basically establish why things work the way they work or how certain things they are. They have a bunch of different settings that completely separate things so that a lot of material is incapable of being used together in official games. And then also the way that material is part of those settings doesn't actually affect the gameplay itself. Like you don't have special mechanics on being a cleric in the Forgotten Realms versus being a cleric in Eberron, for example, even though Eberron is a completely different setting without gods. And that's, I would say, the biggest weakness. The setting for D&D exists more as an excuse for why things are the way they are, rather than being the context for the things in the game, if you know what I mean. It's like Spelljammer exists as an excuse for D&D to have sci-fi stuff. Everyone exists as an excuse to have steampunk stuff, and so on and so forth. I just, and that's why most people just homebrew their own shit because it's literally better. But yeah, I'm gonna draw real quick grave now. Give me a second. Where's my mouse? Oh, I have it upside down. That's why it's gone. Then they release is made to be like, here's a system, go wild. Yeah, because it's made for mass appeal, so they don't take any risks or try to make the game like super broad or like specific or anything, because they want to appeal to as many suckers as possible so that they buy their fucking shit that does nothing for them. And then Elon Musk is gonna buy Hasbro, make it even more stinky. God, I fucking I I hope someone I hope someone pulls the good old the words. Anyways, I'm just saying, deny the post the fuse defend are pretty nifty words. That's all I'll say in that matter. Uh, let's let's finish drawing this Cancer Mermaid. Two. So it's so funny when things are named after the after the like zodiac of Cancer, and it's like, what do you mean this thing is named Cancer? Why would you name it that? But yeah, no, like when you die, you can transfer yourself to a different body, and you can just change bodies, like it's nothing. I love this setting. It's so cool, especially when you get to the like secret, all fucky wucky bodies are like, oh, you get the Mind Flayer, oh, you get the oh god, this song, oh, you get the Mind Flayer, oh, you get the Leviathan, oh, like they're so sick. But yeah, give me another game to talk about. If not, but then punishment to you all. I'm meanwhile gonna sip my tea because my throat is starting to ache. Oh, Call of Cthulhu. Oh, I know what to talk about for this one. So, first off, whoops. Phone, please stop falling down. I beg you. You wanna run it one day? Ooh, I would love to be part of that. I really like Call of Cthulhu. But yeah, number one fucking mechanic I love from this game, skill upgrades. So this game just has the super cool idea that if on one of your skills on your list you succeed in a roll, you get to mark it, and then at the end of the session you get to upgrade it later. And depending on how low this and the lower the skill is, the easier it is to upgrade it if you succeed in a check. It's such a cool mechanic, and it makes people trying out skills that are not good at. It makes people incentivized to use mechanics that are not good at for this because they could give them a chance to upgrade them and such. It's so cool. It's such a good and simple way of making like characters like risk failure and stuff like that. Then, as for the other mechanics, I mean, on one hand, the health words for Call of Cthulhu, the health system is honestly as workable as you can get. Like, all the characters have like super itty bitty like numbers of health, like 8 health. Meanwhile, like a single punch can let log upgrading a skin getting a high roll on a 13 skin getting log upgrade roll on my 55 skill. God, that is the one thing that could get some change. The way skills are upgraded, like rather than making a D10 roll, make it something more, a bit more consistent. Because it feels bad to be like, oh hell yeah, I upgraded my medicine, and then you roll a 1, and it's like, well, fuck. But yeah, look how a lot of characters will have like 8 to 10 HP, and then like when you get shot by a gun. Whoops! Oh wait, that's not how that should be drawn. Oops! Give me a second. My hands are suddenly failing me on drawing stuff. But yeah, it's your medicine is 10. You somehow rolled 1 on upgrade. God, yeah. But yeah, I love how it's like super EDVD HP, and meanwhile the gun does like 2d6 damage. Plus like 4 or something. Thank you. I don't know how I managed to draw a decent revolver, but I'm proud. Although the perspective is a bit foggy, but it's a doodle play. I saw your experience is something I enjoy is more personal on campaigns. Fair enough. To be fair, it's not like the campaign I did was the best example of a sample campaign of Call of Cthulhu. Like, it was a lot more action and a lot less scary. Yeah, exactly, and that's what I like, Neo, that pretty much you can die from pretty much anything. Like, if someone punches you hard enough, you can die. And that's something I like. Like, the characters actually feel vulnerable and in danger at every moment. And that's without counting the ticking clock. That is, give me a second. And then, and then, I love this song from Omori. This brings good memories. But yeah, that's without counting the ticking clock that is for every single character, that is sanity. God, sanity. Like, it's definitely not the most elegant way to perform, Let's look at Serious character type, God. Yeah, I need to see the Dormori route too as well. So I need to buy... either need to buy the game on the Switch, or I will just emulate it, because I already own the fucking game. What you gonna do, sue me? I never understood that whole thing about making content differently available in different games. It's like, but why? Why would the Switch version have more content than the Steam version? Especially content that is actually relevant and important. I mean, I'm fine with whatever spec. You're pretty good at RPGs, so maybe you will have an easier time than me. But yeah, going back to the topic, although sanity is not the most elegant solution, I really do enjoy the way it adds tension to situations as characters just get ever closer and closer and closer to just losing their shit in what could be a very important and dangerous situation, and how that can develop into bad shit happening. I really do like that. And of course, there is, there's like words. Give me a second. I need to regroup my thoughts. Okay. As I was saying, the one thing that for some people would probably be like, you know, either they like it or not, is how. Of course, I wanted sanity shit to happen to me, but I kept getting good rolls. Yeah, like everyone just kept rolling so good for sanity. Like Saber took all the trauma from everyone. It was fucking great. Like, just live in a constant state of fear of water while everyone else is like, well, but this is nice. But yeah, like I was saying, I also like how the game is pretty much expects you to do things in that game throughout a long period of time. Rather than, having everything happen in like a day or two or stuff like, oh, you want to research this book for information that could be relevant. Okay, that will be 1 week. Oh, you want to learn this spell. Okay, that will be a few months. Oh, you want to learn more about the mythos. Okay, then spend time and sanity researching this absolutely horrible topic. Stuff like that. Like, I like that it's not that the system like pushes you to make things take a while. I didn't do that for my campaign specifically, because for the kind of story I wanted to tell, I felt like having the action itself happen in a short period of time with long periods of calmness was better. Oh, hi, Blue Blue. Welcome, welcome, sorry. Hmm. Welcome, welcome. I am busy talking about about RPG, TTRPG mechanics I like, and everyone is getting me yapping because they keep bringing all the stuff I like. How dare they? Gonna numb my lands now. Shouldn't miss my Sunday radio. Bless. Hope you enjoy. But yeah, as I was saying, brain. Are there any other mechanics in Call of Cthulhu that I really like? I mean, I do like how everything is pretty much, grounded in the real world to the point that they even have price conversions between the 1920s and the modern time for all the different things. So that you can play both a campaign that happens in the usual Lovecraftian setting as well as for modern settings where you can even be a hacker that or some other stuff like that for a job. How long I'm going? I'll go until the usual end time, which is 6:30, and then I'll see how I'm doing, like both throat wise and ideas wise, and we'll see. Because it is true that I'm speaking a lot more. I haven't spoken this much this much continuously in a while because of all the illness and stuff. So I guess this is kind of like a jog for my throat. But yeah, I'd say that's everything for Cthulhu. Next one, come on guys, give me some fresh good ideas. What should I talk to? What game should I talk about next? I will Fist. Oh hell yeah! I love Fist. Fist is absolute peak. I should honestly check the fan content for Fist later because there are a bunch of signs that were made for like fan made character builds and missions and stuff like that. I should check those out at some point. I think I make a priest, but the things are dealing with devils. Ah, for Cthulhu, fair enough. It's like become demon, and meanwhile, the Lord of Night, like, what the fuck is this guy on about? We could also try to do a Cthulhu that's like more Victorian horror inspired. That could also be fun. Since there are rules for playing with werewolves, zombies, ghosts, and stuff like that. I'm glad you like the idea. I kind of want Gloomhaven into TTRPG time in the future, like they did for Enderroll. So like, moving into us TTRPG system. But yeah, meanwhile, Fist, the sickest mercenary team ever. I got them love running Fist, even if it's sometimes a bit of a headache. Only a thought on the back of my head. Then, I mean, you know what I'm gonna say already. Uh, I recommend you read through D&D Fourth Edition if you have the chance. Really good, really similar in spirit to how Fist play, not Fist, Gloomhaven plays. But yeah, Fist, fucking love the shit out of this. It has it's kind of funny because on one hand it's very clearly inspired by things like Metal Gear, in that you are a bunch of weird ass soldiers that all have like the weirdest goddamn powers and abilities, like combination of abilities. Like you can have some guy that's actually radioactive and actually just and shit like that, while and then some other guy who is an actual like oops who is an actual like vampire, And then the third guy can just be some guy called Bob who carries like two very large knives, and that and that's it. That's all he does. He just carries very large knives with him. He's very good at using those knives. I'm so scared that once Fist comes back, Slick will just slip on a pebble and die. God. But yeah, you like it's literally just a bunch of disposable weirdo soldiers that are rejects of society because they're either like toss aside veterans or they're weird mutants or supernatural fuckery, and they are sent to basically do peacekeeping and keep people out of trouble from the power of great organizations well, in the setting itself is Cyclops. Well, I made my own organization for that. But yeah, the vibe in this game is pristine. I absolutely love it. You want to mention how the literal vampire was the only straight one in the group? Exactly. There's also that. Like that, it's also so funny because the powers that each character has nothing to do with their personality. So you can have like this vampire guy be super serious and shit, while Bob with the two large knives is the craziest fucking character because he can actually summon the because he actually in secret he can summon the power of the GM from the high heavens. Yeah, no, like it's inspired partially by Metal Gear, but it's also very inspired by so many things. Like it feels like a Saturday morning cartoon, except a lot more fucked up. Especially in the fact that it has an almost Helldivers like mechanic where if one of your guys bites the dust, you can just roll in a few tables and spawn a brand new silly little guy. So let's say that you can make Virgil, yeah. So like Bob can die with his two knives, and then the next guy can come in and suddenly summon like fucking Star Platinum. Oops, that's way too long of a neck. But yeah, they can just like summon fucking part 3 Star Platinum as their power, and you're like, what the fuck? Like they just have a stand, and they can also shoot spider webs or something. It's so funny, and yeah, like when someone dies, you can just like throw in another character. It's a very mid grindy game, and I do love how the whole game is basically set up so that generating characters is super simple, just so you can roll them up in an instant to join back the fray if you die. Which again, I didn't quite play like that because I felt like my players would have a lot more fun if their characters had a bigger survivability chance. Although Saber certainly trying to trump on those expectations with fucking Slick and this 1 HP. And then another thing that's just sorry. What makes all of these extra great is that the powers are pretty much, for the most part, suggestions for how the character can narratively deal with stuff. Like, they will be like, oh, if you want to use your radiation powers, use this skill. Or if you want to use your snake powers, like Saber does, use this skill. And it's like, hey, GM, can I use my radiation powers to inflict super cancer on the enemy? And it's like, sure, bud, roll the thing. And it just goes like, boom. Like it's a very open-ended and freestyle kind of game, which fits great with how goofy and over the top the thing is. So you just have you can just make some of the funniest goddamn scenes happen, like when Saber just slung slapstick across the goddamn state. It's really good. Though again, I don't have that much else to mention in terms of mechanics other than the is to create characters and such because it doesn't have that much in terms of mechanics. It's a pretty simple game overall. Though I do like the base mechanics of like your characters can obtain like a base of operations and then you can upgrade it so suddenly your base can obtain like a jet plane or something that is autopiloted and shoots missiles at your enemies and stuff like that. Oops. Whoop. No, hand, please. You can draw the other side, right? I promise. Please stop drawing like shit. There we go. But yeah, you can have like a jet plane that shoots missiles at your enemies, or you can have like a super large armory filled with weapons of all type, like bazookas and stuff, riot shields, like all that stuff, or other types of upgrades. But like I said, it's not meant to be played super seriously or have super complex mechanics because at the end of the day, your guy could die any moment and be replaced by someone else. So you shouldn't care that much about about how much the stuff they have and stuff like that, which I really like. Da-na-na-na-na. I also really like how the game encourages you to like do unique stuff for the bosses and stuff, like give them unique mechanics that are like separate from the main mechanics of the game. Like for example, for the words for my good old buddy Paul Slapstick, the best boy. Most physical damage around him was his ability was that most physical damage around him was basically non-lethal because it applied cartoon logic, and the only time damage would become lethal is if cartoon logic would imply that damage would become lethal. So, for example, Saber feeding him a pie that had a bomb in it, technically non-lethal. He's technically still alive. He's just been dismantled completely. I absolutely love it. It's just great. And and the game like blah, blah, blah. He's just in a bottle now. He's fine. His two eyeballs are just blinking at you guys very judgingly. And if you give him the chance to reform, he will be very angry. But he's gonna be busy being in a snow globe or something probably. But yeah, I also like that there's a lot of like quickly made stuff for like NPCs and enemies and stuff like that. So again, the game is very much on the go, like snappy, like real quick, have whatever you need prepared. Like, oh, I need a scientist ready because these guys have decided to interact with this one enemy scientist. Okay, roll this, roll that. Okay, I got it. And I don't know, just the entire philosophy for the design of the game is just fantastic. But with that, I think it's about we can move on to the next topic. What can we talk about next? Yeah, I can't wait to return Fist. Once we have the time for it. Do I need to decide on what kind of thing to do next for you guys? And then someone says that the teleportation just keeps the entire dungeon. God. I welcome you to give it a try, Neo. It's fun. Yeah, SMT. I can't wait for it, though. We do need to wait for. I do need to ask some questions to someone first about SMT before I start planning things out. Oh, if you have any ideas for the SMT game, feel free to spam my DMs. I am always happy to talk about that kind of stuff. How about for the dungeon next? See, the problem with for the dungeon is the mechanics are there are barely any. Oh, for Fist, I'm also happy to hear ideas for Fist. So yeah, hit me up. Like anything that's related to my games, talk to me about it. I will fucking be very happy. But yeah, as I was saying, the thing for the dungeon is, it doesn't have really mechanics. You have a bunch of stats, and you have a bunch of rolls for stuff that can happen, and a few simple like, oh, notoriety or stuff like that. But it's mostly just a game about fucking around and finding out. Like you just send your characters off into town to do some bullshit for the dungeon, collect some stuff here and there, and then maybe you will have to deal with some adventures and stuff, which is like the one thing that has mechanical depth in the game, where like adventurers will have layers of protection with their traits, and you basically have to defeat them by disabling all their traits one by one, basically. So yeah, like I said, for the dungeon, very simple. You're just little Gobo one with Kobe the Kobold on the other end. I love these silly guys. Well, Call of Cthulhu is more about it's more about avoiding fucking around, while For the Dungeon is specifically asking you to fuck around and find out. So yeah, you're these two henchmen or so of some big like evil overlord of the dungeon, or you're just sent off to like do errands for them. Like, oh, I want you to go into the garrison of these guys and into the garrison of these guys and like fuck around with their stuff. Like, let's well, what was I gonna paint? I forgot. Like, let's say there's this guard garrison here that you want to like fuck around with so that your evil overlord can then send an attack on the town or something. And so you try to do that and you will probably fail, because the main mechanic of this game is that most rolls will end up in success with a consequence or failure most of the time. Your dice are very much ready to fuck with you in a way that is truly delightful. Like, this die is armed with a weapon and is ready to end you right now. And there's nothing you can do about it, because you will probably roll like not roll what you need to have a full success. And so while Gobo the Goblin is managing to cut off the, like, I don't know, like Gobo the Goblin will successfully eat, I don't know, eat all the swords in the garrison, just completely munch them off. He will have his tummy will be too full, and he will have a hard time escaping from the guards. Or something like that. Like, it's just a silly game where you just expected to fail miserably at most of the stuff, but come out triumphantly enough that eventually some big mini adventurer with some big mini adventurer with a sword 2 times his size will just come find you and be like, hey, you should not be doing that, and then you'll be like, fuck you, and then they'll be like, fuck you. I don't know what I was trying to draw here. But yeah, it's just a silly little game. Not much else to say about it. Nexto! What do you guys think I should talk about Nexto? Also, fun fact, Saber fucking broke my absolute brain the one time we played for the dungeon together. Okay, enjoy your snacks. Like, Saber was so chaotic, I just couldn't keep up with what the hell they were doing with their Lamia character. Like, they were playing some Lamia that was, like, super bookwormy and shit, and it was a goddamn mess because she just kept getting into stupid situations and doing stupid solutions. And I was just, like, at some point my brain just decided to keep up. I just straight up gave up and I was like, well, you know what? I had a good run. So long. Da, 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 da. But yeah, Speckies, Sayonara Shelvet, oh god. Specky, Saber, Nick, any suggestions for what I could talk about next? If not, I could always jump about Legend of the Five Rings. I can certainly jump about that thing. No, not exactly about mechanics. No, that's also about mechanics. Go ahead, Yap. Alright, so with this music, let's start yapping about Legend of the Five Rings and how Faye is an absolute shield for whip shit. Because good god, I absolutely love that thing. Like, it's such a cool combination of a greatly written setting with some good ass mechanics that also that reward both risk taking, but also strategic use of your resources, and also the setting mixes so well with the mechanics. And just. So the setting itself is a very like Japanese, Chinese, like Eastern, in general Eastern Asian mythology inspired setting, where you have like the lands of this god created empire, where on the eastern end of this empire there's like the very evil land of the evil overlord, who are constantly trying to corrupt and defeat the land that was created by the gods, and so on and so forth. And the game has like a shit ton of lore, but I'm not gonna focus on that right now. But the lore is also very good. Like, it legitimately reads like an actual mythological story. It's so cool. I love it. But the important part is that this whole game is basically set up as sorry. I think my throat is starting to protest at me for how much I've been yapping. I may need to go grab some water and some other stuff later to calm my throat. But basically, the whole game is mainly played from the perspective of shinobis. But not shinobi. Why did they say shinobis? I already got a warm tea. I guess I could get a second tea. Is that allowed? I wonder. But not shinobis. Samurai. Like, you have basically a bunch of different clans that specialize each in their own part of the typical samurai stereotypes. Like, you have the Lion Clan, which focuses on being honor coded warriors. You have the Crab Clan, which focuses on being tireless and never fighting guardians. You have the Phoenix Clan, which is all about being studious and scholars and stuff like that. You have the Dragon Clan, which is all about being like seekers of unique fighting styles and wanting to master your own body. You have the Cranes, which are the masters of diplomacy. But what about the 30s? And yeah, basically each of the clans are basically a representation of a stereotype of a samurai style like warrior. And they're all so cool. Basically, from these clans, you have like a bunch of different families, with each family also specializing in one thing within this clan. Like you have a family of like in the craft clan, maybe one of the families is actually trained in spell casting, so that the warriors can be accompanied by powerful users of magic that can support them. Or in the Crane clan, with all the merchants and stuff, you have one family that's specifically of soldiers, and that family in specific are both good magistrates while also being good combatants, stuff like that. And your character is basically composed of which clan they come from, and then which family they come from, and then oh, you have Baldur's now. Okay, you have a fun time, Nick. See you later. But yeah, then all of these different families can then go into different like schools of samurai and stuff. And each of these things that are all dependent on the setting and that all connect to like how this world works, each of them are mechanically important because your family determines some of your stats and how some other families react to you. Your school decides what skills you can learn and how and like the values that your character goes by. Ugh, give me a second. The cats are scratching at the door. Pixie, behave. Damas. But as I was saying, you have all of that, and then once all of this converges, you have your shinobi, which is a combination of their family, their school. Pixie, where are you? Where did you go? What crimes are you? Oh, you're on the bed. Okay, good. That combination of like your family, your school, your clan, and all that. And from that, they can specialize in a bunch of different things. Like maybe your samurai is specialized in diplomacy and stuff, and they are a magistrate, or they are specialized on martial arts and combat and stuff like that, or they're specialized in magic. And it's super cool because again, your character will have a specific place in this world that is fed by all the choices you've made in character creation, and that then will inform how you have to play that character in that world and what expectations that character has, and all that is super cool. And you can also go in a completely different direction, and instead of making a shinobi or something like that, just you can just make someone from a different walk of life who you have less benefits from that because you don't get the same benefits as the shinobi, but it's another whole different area of the game you can play, where instead of playing as a shinobi or a ronin, you why do I keep saying shinobi? Samurai, god, words. Instead of playing as a samurai or ronin, you can just be some random Joe from the farm who decided they were done taking shit from some bandits and decided to take matters into their own hands or stuff like that. Or maybe you are the serb or some other stuff like ugh, they are mechanically weaker, which I don't. I guess you can technically decide that as playing as a level 0 character, I guess. But and it makes sense. It makes sense within the world. I do wish there was an option to make like non-samurai characters that could reach the power of samurais, but I get why they don't do it. But it's just the way the whole setting and the world informs the way characters are created and how they work is just so cool. And that's without going in detail into the actual mechanic side of things, where, the way this works is that rather than having critical successes and stuff like that, what you have is a number you have to reach to succeed at something, and a pool of dice you roll. That depends on your attribute and which skill you're using. So, for example, let's say that good old Hansu here has like 3 in their strength and an ability with the club of 2. So this combines in that they roll 5 dices, and then from those 5 dices they take 3 dice because of their strength. And then from those 3 dices, which are D10 by the way, I forgot to mention, you then proceed to add together their value, and you have to meet a specific target number, which can be for example like 20 to hit something. And the fun thing about this is that if you're very confident in your roll to surprise something, you can basically bet on a higher number. Where, for example, let's say I want to for example, let's say that instead of Hansu the farmer, I am instead playing as God, sorry, my throat. The pigs and shinobi were just samurai. Yeah, but shinobi is a specific type of samurai that's usually more of a magistrate kind of thing. Like it's more supposed to be a more diplomacy and softer future oriented type of samurai, rather than, just being the general term for them. But yeah, instead of Hansu the farmer, let's say we are playing as Shin Hinata of the Craft Clan, for example, with their beautiful like ponytail and stuff, and their big, totally not overcompensating 2-meter long katana. And Shin has a strength of 5 and an ability with the katana of also 5. So this combines to rolling 10 die. 10 die and taking 5. And because of that, Shin feels pretty confident, and they decide, you know what? I'm going to add to my target number. I'm going to aim to have 2 extra. I'm going to bet that I can reach 2 extra levels of success in this target number. And so because of that, to add 2 extra levels of success, you add +5 2 times to the target number for a total of +10. So for example, if the target number was 15, then it would become 25. And then if for oh, hi Neo, we were talking about Legend of the Five Rings while you were gone. Well, I was yapping about Legend of the Five Rings like a goddamn maniac, basically. And so, if you do this bet where you bet that you can increase your level of success by 2 times, and then succeed on a roll, then you will get extra bonuses. So, for example, for your damage die, you will add extra dice, or maybe you will succeed in a more impressive way, or stuff like that. Or for example, if you are competing against someone, maybe if you succeed by reaching a higher target number, then you will basically words. Then you will basically succeed better than them and thus surpass them or stuff like that. Oh, that's basically the long and short of it. Oh, sorry. Eh. Also, I'm starting to run out of space. But yeah, I would love to one day play this game with people, but at the same time, I know I can't ask my friends to read that many manuals, especially one as long as this one. But I really love the vibe of this game. Like, I really love the setting. I already have like a bunch of character ideas I want to play, and it's like, man, I wish. I got them wish. Sorry. God, my body is now fighting me very hard. It's not even 6 p.m. Jeez. Don't worry, I'll play with you. I just won't read or remember the manual. That helps me so much, Saber. Yeah, my body got hands, Neo. That's why I have psoriasis. My body is throwing hands against itself. But yeah, Saber, that makes me so happy. Oh my god, I'm just so jubilous right now. But yeah, any other systems you guys would like me to basically review? Sort of? God, please, buddy, just one more. Just one more game, I beg you. Oh. You have one? Then tell me. Tell me now, or be silent forever. You foolish fool. And then Neo never gave his suggestion. Of course, I'm talking about Nolan and the Vice. I mean, the hardest city beneath. I haven't even actually read through Vice and Violence, so I can't actually give you a review of the mechanics. So, sucks to be you, I can't actually review it even as a joke. Truly a sad state of affairs. Ugh. I haven't finished reading Cyberpunk. Saber, please. Yeah, the world is super good, Neo, but here's the problem. I only have time to read so many fucking manuals in my day. I love this I love the hobby. Sadly, I do not have infinite time to read every single manual. But yeah, Heart the City Beneath. Sorry. So Heart is another template-based game where, you know, each class basically has a template for different like abilities and such other games as they level up. And the fun part is how this leveling up of your character actually is deeply interconnected with how the heart. Sorry. I'm probably gonna need to stop soon. Jeez. That or just make a hard stop for water real quick. Okay, you know what? BRB. I'll be back in a moment. Ay. Right, I'm back. Sorry for about that. Oh boy. Let me check real quick that to make sure that things are working properly. Yeah, it's working okay. I drank some water and I have some milk here. Let's do this. Ah. So like I said, you have a template that basically details like how you level up and stuff. And that combined with whatever background your character has, basically decides slowly how the good old core of the earth that is all eldritch and shit is constantly corrupting your character into becoming basically a a goddamn mess. And progress is basically measured on how much the heart itself is affecting you or making your character more and more corrupted and stuff. And I love that. I really love, again, when mechanics and setting work together to make a better experience, that's the good shit. Like, other people are like, I don't care that much about the setting, or I don't care about that much about mechanics. But honestly, a great game is one that can make both of them into an intrinsic pair that enhance the other. That's just the best shit ever. And also, sorry, the other mechanic that also works great for this thing. Why did I draw this hex so badly? Whoops. Damn, today I'm just not doing great. Is the fact that different, like, well, how to describe this? Is the way how the different hexes in the map of the world are basically meant to be able to be moved around and stuff, because the game basically encourages you to as the characters delve deeper into the areas and unlock more stuff and stuff like that, to just grab a hex and either like move it around or delete it or stuff like that to just show how the world is shifting around them and making it harder for them to return, and slowly and surely funnel them deeper and deeper into the heart. Is great. I love it. If you have a good setting, that alone is enough for me to want to play it. Fair enough. That's fair, but for me, it's just if your setting is good but your mechanics are shit, then I don't really care much about it. And if your mechanics are good but they don't have any flavor to them, then yeah, I also don't really care that much. And in general, the way the game works is very great because it's basically built so that you can mix and match like traits in order to create new areas. So you can have like one that has like spooky ghosts, and then also have like giant living flowers that try to eat people or something. I don't know. And then combine both of these into one of the hexes so that the next hex has like giant man-eating flowers that spew the ghost of those that they have eaten at you as a weapon or something like that. Like, it's just so sick. I love it so much. Absolutely adore it. There's also obviously a bunch of pre-made like tiles, like you have the railway tiles and all the tiles that the game as part of its setting has. But the same thing, it encourages you to just create your own shit to basically harass your players with. So it's like, oh, you want to create a burrow that is constantly filled with with the ghost of the dead trying to send you down the wrong paths of the labyrinthic tunnels. Sure. Why not? Or you want to make a giant graveyard where from the graveyards there are constantly being born weird creatures of flesh. Yeah, sure, do it. Why not? Why the fuck not? Why would this not exist in the chaos that is the heart? So yeah, I just absolutely adore everything about this. And I really want to play Heart at some point with you guys. But with that, we have kinda run out of space, I feel like. Let me just check. Hmm. I guess it's technically some space left around up here, but at the same time, my throat is protesting a bit against me, so maybe I should be stopping for now. Hmm. What do you guys think? Do you have anything you really want me to talk about? Or would you rather we just end here for today? What is thy judgment, chat? Oh yeah, the Hollow Knight RPG. Oh, well, Neo has stopped me from talking about the Hollow Knight RPG. Is there any RPG related with flowers? Hmm. Let me. I. mm, I'm not sure real if I have one on me. Let me check real quick. But I do. I am. I'm pretty sure I've seen indie TTRPGs centered around flowers and stuff before, especially like journaling TTRPGs and stuff like that. Although, like the great thing about this community is that if if it's a concept that exists, there's more than likely someone that has actually done it at some point. But let me check just in case, because we'll see. Let's see. Reading real quick. Well, there. Okay, I have something that kind of is partially related to flowers, but not like the main focus, which is one a journaling TTRPG called Bandwidth, where you are basically traveling with helping people like with nature and the environment and stuff like that. Go around helping like communities and stuff like that. So that one is tangentially related to what you asked, Nami. And what else do I have? TBC, Burnstone, Star Wars, Hollow Bards, Stormburners, SMTs, Layers. Is this the famous cozy witch in the Alps RPG? No. Mainly because it doesn't even take place in the Alps. But yeah, I'm searching for any others I could have that are related to flowers. Pa 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 pa. Since you're making bouquets at the moment, fair. But like I said, there's probably someone somewhere who has made a whole thing just about flowers. I don't doubt it in the slightest. For the dungeon, feast, cyberpunk. Do you know Blades in the Dark? I mean, we were talking about Blades in the Dark, but back when I was talking about Girl by Moonlight, so yeah, I do know it. I don't own it though because money, but I do know it. But yeah, no, sadly I don't have any other TTRPGs that are tangentially related to flowers. But honestly, we should. That could be a fun idea for a stream, like choosing some random topic and searching what RPGs exist about that. What TTRPGs exist about that topic. That sounds like a fun thing to do. I should write that down for later. But yeah, for now, I just like here, remember, like, that makes sense as now, guys. It was also thinking in the dark, like Blitz in the dark. Yeah, that's basically the concept of most of those names. Like it's Blitz in the dark, Girl by Moonlight, and other names of that sort. So the accounts in shadows. I know there's something in shadows. I don't think it's guns though. But yeah, that's definitely an idea I want to try later. Like just searching for like inits.io for random TTRPGs that people have made out certain ideas and see what we can find that catches our eye. Let's see. Save this one as session 6. Ah, who who followed me? Who did it? What the fuck? Who did it? 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 Ranko, thank you, thank you for joining us. Hope you've been enjoying words. Have you been enjoying my silly japping about the RPGs and stuff? Welcome, welcome. Let's see. Oh, right, yeah. Save us again, but this time as a PNG. There we go. Sadly, we are almost done for today, but still, thank you very much for coming by. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Ta-ta-ta. Hello! Since we're almost done, let me just... Whoops. No, I didn't mean to paint over it. Ah, there we go. I'm just gonna show the general... The general, like, shape of we be talking with First Girl by Moonlight. Oh, it's you, Cat! Oh, God, Why did I not remember that's the name you use online? I am fucking stupid. Hi, Cat! Thank you for joining. Hope you've been having a good day. I don't know why I'm stupid sometimes, but it happens. I'm sorry. The only word there is fist in all caps. Fist! And you know the cat message is the PFP. Fist, and then 3 stripes, which are clearly indicating that there's actually some sort of queer flag in here. We truly live in a society. But yeah, we've been talking about Girl by Moonlight, all the different types of stories it allows, and how the stress mechanic just adds a lot to the story of it. Then about Mermaids of the Deep and the whole transhumanistic bounty hunter setting that is just fucking great. I love it. Twitch won't let me change names as it as Discord would, lol. Funny because I've changed my name on Twitch quite a few times. Everyone else seems to have a lot of troubles with it, and meanwhile I'm just like, yeah, no, I just changed it. It's the flag of Ireland. The flag of Ireland is vertical though. It's not horizontal. Oh yeah, we've been talking about Fist, its superpower, easy to make soldiers that are constantly spammed into the death of battlefield, and then its funny bases. Shows me what I know about my favorite streaming service. To be fair, mood. I also sometimes just don't understand jack shit about some of the stuff I use. Then we talked about Call of Cthulhu, its funny skill leveling up system, health versus absorb weapon damage. Hang out now, maybe stream, or maybe just hang out with Saber for a bit. Okay, see you later, Spec. Then, by petition of Neo, we created Gov the Gobo and Gov the Kobold, the best characters ever for the dungeon, who are pretty much doing just shenanigans and being cuties. Knife Man dies plus gay flag equals Jotaro Kucho. Fuck that. God damn it. Then we talked about Legend of the Five Rings for a normal and healthy amount of time. And then we capped off with Heart the City Beneath by petition of Neo, which is a system that I want to play so badly one day. Please, someone spare me from this suffering. And that's really it. So, with that, let's exit this session. Let us stop this bomb rush for Cyberpunk. And let's head over to the end screen. Farco, you can see it once a year, but only after you have the account for a few months. Pretty sure it's faster than once a year. But, anyways, thank you all for hanging out with me today, despite my very treacherous and mean throat. Thank you, Spec, Neo, Blue, Nick, and Cat, and also Saber. I won't forget about Saber. for joining me today. It's been lovely. I love doing these. They're just so nice and relaxing. And I said Nami. I said Nami. I'm pretty sure I said Nami. But yeah, also congratulations on the 500 on Blue Sky, Nami. Yee! Totally deserved. You deserve more, in fact. Why do you not? Why do not more people not follow you? They should be tried for a crime for that. Meow, that's right, God. But it's just very nice. Like, I don't know, just having a bunch of people listen, like, who actually want to listen and talk about the stuff I'm passionate about is just, it just makes me happy. Little by little, for not wonder the joy. Oh god. And Spec just left, god damn it. Oh, thanks, Saber. It's right at the end, god damn it. Right when I was saying some nice stuff to my dear Nami, how dare? This is so rude. Saber quick on the trigger. I mean, that's why they pay. That's why they paid them. I mean, what? But yeah, thank you guys for being part of something that brings me so much joy. You're all awesome. So it was the snake on the cowboy boot. I appreciate you all so much, and I appreciate being able to do this so much as well. Yes, you get paid in friendship. But yeah, with this, I will now go give my throat a rest. Maybe get some more warm tea later. And I don't know, probably continue being a nerd for the rest of the day until it is time for Gintama during the night. So, I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I hope to see you guys maybe tomorrow for Morris Attorney. If everything goes well, because good god, that series is so cursed, I keep having to interrupt it for one reason or another. But I will see you guys later. Bye bye.